So last week I made a dinner cake. It was a kind of realistic looking steak and baked potato and also a roll that I made. So if you have not seen that video, please go check that one out. This week I also wanted to keep with the food theme, so I am making a giant strawberry cake. This one isn't quite as realistic as the one from last week, but it was still really fun to make. I got this idea because my family and I always love going strawberry picking in the summer, and that is coming up soon, and that's something that I'm very much looking forward to. So this week I am making a strawberry cake. Let's get into it. Alright, I have already baked my cake, and I am placing a strawberry photo from the internet right on top of my cake, and I cut around it to get the strawberry shape. I am going to go ahead and tort this cake too, so just run your knife right through the middle of the cake horizontally. Next, I'm going to begin layering up my cakes, and I'm alternating cake and buttercream frosting here. And I'll put both of these recipes down in the description box for you. The cake was one I was experimenting with. It is a extended cake mix recipe using strawberry cake mixes. My kids and I liked this cake, but to me it had a slight artificial taste to it, but really good for kids. So if you're making a cake for kids, which is what I usually always am making cake for, then this one is a good one. Once I have it stacked, I'm holding my template back up to the cake to use as a guide for cutting. And then I'm using my serrated knife to cut the cake into the strawberry shape. I'm taking off just a little bit at a time until I am happy with the shape. I always save those scraps for snacking on or for cake pop filling later. I'm holding up the template and cutting the cake on all sides, including the top. You'll want the bottom edges to taper inwards, but be careful not to cut too much on that bottom edge or the cake will fall over. Okay, next I did something I really should not have done. I continued adding height with cake pop filling. This cake was slightly too tall, so if you make this cake, do not go this high because it ended up with a few cracks on the side at the end. So do not make it too tall. 6 layers of cake is actually really, really tall. You do not even need to go that tall with this one. And I refine it just a bit more, and I round out the top and sides. Also, I moved it over onto a cutting board, and I only did that because I accidentally cut the paper on my board. Once I have the perfect shape, I'm covering it in white chocolate ganache. I like using white chocolate that is called Ghirardelli. I think it's called, it's hard to say, but I really love that chocolate, and I can easily get it at the grocery store. To smooth out the white chocolate ganache, I am using a flexible plastic smoother, which is perfect for rounded edges on a cake just like this strawberry. I got these smoothers from Innovative Sugar Works, and I actually got those from Amazon. So I really recommend those if you are into cake decorating. It's something that you should definitely have. To cover my cake, I am using modeling chocolate here, but I actually think you could use fondant or a 50-50 mix of fondant and modeling chocolate. If you have ever purchased pre-made modeling chocolate, you will know how expensive it is, so it's always a good idea to save yourself some money. Before I place the modeling chocolate onto my cake, I'm spraying it with water, and then I make sure to wipe up the water from my board. I place my modeling chocolate onto my strawberry and I quickly begin smoothing it out. I bring together the sides of the chocolate and I cut off the excess. If you use fondant only here, it will be a little more difficult to smooth out a seam like this, but it can be done. Once I have it covered, I'm cutting away the excess, and then I use a sugar shaper to push any remaining chocolate underneath the cake. Now that I have a smooth surface to work with, I'm pressing a modeling tool into the cake to create these divots in the cake. They're like little indentations for the seeds. I'm making them go kind of in a diagonal pattern, but there's no need for perfection here. But one thing, you do not want to overdo it with these little indentations because we have to make seeds for every one of these. Next, I'm painting the cake with a mix of red food color gel and just a few drops of vodka. Some people are very, very surprised when I use alcohol to paint on cakes, but do not worry about the vodka because it evaporates, and then you are left behind with this beautiful paint on the cake. I am brushing these indentations with a darker shade of red, and I'm brushing over the entire cake again to blend it. Next up are the seeds. I've colored my modeling chocolate a gold color and I'm rolling it out, and I'm using a piping tip to cut out a bunch of circles. This will help ensure that all the seeds are about the same size. And then using my hands, I'm rolling each circle into a seed shape. This is a little time consuming and is the reason why you do not want to go overboard with those indentations from earlier. Next, I'm sticking the seeds onto the strawberry. To finish off my strawberry, I am making the leaves and stems. For this one, you definitely want to use modeling chocolate because it will hold its shape better than fondant. I want the leaves to be slightly larger than my fondant lid, so I lightly pressed the fondant lid onto my modeling chocolate just to mark it, and then I'm pressing a leaf veiner in a circle into the modeling chocolate to create the leaves. It actually worked out perfectly, and I am glad I have this veiner. I bought it like probably 8 years ago. And I'll put the link in the description box if you are interested in getting this. I am cutting out the leaves with my X-Acto knife, and then I'm brushing some edible glue onto the cake. And then I move the leaves over onto the cake. The leaves were not looking very realistic to me, so I decided to thin them out just a touch by pinching the edges, and I think that really helped thin it out and make it look more natural. And then I used a rolling pin to create a dent in the cake where the stem will go. I am using a toothpick here to help hold the stem into place, and I also added a few twirly vines, which were also made out of modeling chocolate. To finish off the leaves, I'm brushing them with some green food color powder. I'm also adding some yellow powder to highlight it. All finished with my strawberry cake. This one was really fast and easy to make for me. Let's see what it looks like on the inside. I hope you picked up some cake decorating tips, and if you have any ideas for me, just let me know down in the comment section. Bye everybody!